shit right now, Bushy B. Enough with that. Waiting for the guys to come. We're going to talk about the sad realities of being a man in America in 2023. So there's a lot to discuss today. Waiting for the gang. The gang. Um, you know, we can generalize and sit here and talk about a lot of things, but I want to go over a couple things about the sad reality about being a man in America. In general, society does not give an F about man's problems at all, not even a little. The whole mental health state, the whole if we're homeless, there's no place to put us, and entirely all that. You can't even get Medicaid if you're a man in America. You can't even get Medicaid. So you really have to pull yourself up by the bootstraps to get that. And we're not even talking about the status of racial situation. Hey, how you doing, Lady S? How you doing, Queen? Beautiful. Waiting for my co-host to come in. We're going to talk about the sad realities of being a man in America, especially being a black man, and understanding on why our job is a little bit harder. We're not trading or trying to put pain against pain, because we know women have a lot hard. We know women have it harder here too, especially being sexualized and disrespected and not protected. But we want to maybe come up with some solutions. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored, Queen. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I hope your day is going well. So I'm waiting for my guys to come in so we can sit here and talk about some serious stuff today. And so this is a topic that we wanted to talk about. The harsh realities of being a man in America. I don't know if you recently seen what just happened to the BLM cousin. He was an English teacher. He was in a car accident, and the police got him down and they tased him. They tased him to the next life. But it's a lot more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more to it, to having to wake up every morning and having to have to work twice as hard, having to not complain, having to do what's right, having to make sure you're a stand-up guy, make sure that you are not going to make your family look bad, make sure you have to take care of the family. A lot of us men have to grow up early, especially if mom and dad's not around. A lot of us take the helm at raising our brothers and sisters. I mean, sometimes there's certain situation where grandmother wasn't there, just an older brother or an older sister. But the reality is, there's certain decisions men have to make that will puts us in a dire situation, and we take the blunt force of that. But it just say business as usual. We have to take it. We have to protect our women. I mean, there's countless of stories we see men dying in the midst of protecting their women, or I mean, another harsh reality is not feeling inadequate to our women when she's making more money than us. That's a big thing too. A lot of our black women are making twice as much money as us. So it makes us feel like we're not being the head of the household. Because what I'm saying, for a long time, it is this is I mean, there's a perception which I can't fault a lot of these women. If you grew up in a two-parent household, you had a father who paid for everything, paid for your college education, who told you that you can't leave this house until somebody can do better than what I can do. It's a little bit intimidating. It's a little bit intimidating, and a lot of men are just giving up. Ante up. Or, you know what I mean? I heard somebody told me the other day, you need to step it up. That's what they're constantly telling us. Stepping up. Step it up. You're a man. Step it up. And, you know, for a lot of us, we don't complain. A lot of us, we take it and we just keep it going. Because we know that being a representation of the community, this is all we have to do. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of us who are lacking in leadership skills. This is why most of our women are leaders in our community. That is a fact. The black women are the leaders of the black community now, not black men. And I'm not afraid. I'm not shy to say that. I see it for myself. Most of the community leaders are black women. Most of the community leaders on the front line are black women. Where are the men? Are they home playing video games? So this is the question we have. You know, it's a sad reality that the perception of men, of black men in America, are low amongst society and even lower amongst the women that supposed to be for us. How can we regain the respect of the women who we love? How can we regain her respect, her honor, her trust? What can we do to tell her that we're here for her? Why is there not a rally behind being a good black man or being able to clean up the image of us? Why do we let a lot of men speak for us or represent us in a bad light? You have a lot of street niggas out here who are sometimes the archetype of a masculine men that women are attracted to. Do we blame the women for that? Or is there just not enough professional black men to overtake that image? Or so many of our black men who are professional are leaving our communities? That's a question that we ask sometimes, and we put to put in a perspective. Another thing is another harsh reality is that women don't realize how easy it is for them to I wouldn't say easy, but how a lot of men are compared to other men. You know what I mean? This is something we talk about in the barbershops. Or you know, Keisha was comparing me to her ex. You know who her ex is, fool? You know that nigga that drive trucks up the road. He got about 2 or 3 houses, a ranch in Texas or something like that. But then though, ain't you with her though? Yeah, you know, we together. We've been together about a year now. But she always questioned me, but why can't I just be like Johnny? Why don't I go get my CDL like Johnny? You know, I ain't no off the road type. The comparisons. It's hard. You know, to be compared. In that sense, as a man, I am socially, legally, and emotionally expendable. I want you to listen to when I tell you that. Socially, we're expendable. Legally, we're expendable. We lose majority of our cases in court. Emotionally, you might as well say we're expendable there because we show no emotion. I want you to know that, Queen, if you listen to me, Lady S, most men cry to their homeboys. We cry to niggas. We don't cry to our wives. When snot running down our nose, we cry to our homeboys because we scared shit out our minds to lose your respect. When the rent got paid, definitely. When your rent got paid the other week, It was a nigga that gave him that money. He was too scared to come talk to you and say that, baby, I lost my job. Your opinion dictates how he functions every morning. Especially if you a person who's educated, you come from a good family, and you chose him as your mate. You chose him to procreate with. He's constantly questioning his mind. Why she chose me out of all these other niggas she went to school with? Am I a stepping stool? It's an insecurity. It's insecurity. I could be the first one to tell you that too, as myself. I've dated somebody who was way more qualified than me in her education, but insecure. Insecure who I was as a person, you know? And you know what I mean?
but what a man is, and that is not being useful in America, is because this agenda has been played out about us through media, music, films, books, you name it. So coming in America, it never makes it easy for us being the man. Now, even though a black man tried his hardest, people still look at him as he is like he's a boy. If he catch my drift. So, you know, you know, I have a father. My father always told me as a man, you should never complain. You should always be solution based. Never give up, even though the whole world could be against you. You keep fighting, you keep pushing through. But this generation of men don't have the way that my father raised me and the father raised you, Hakeem. So they are raised differently now. They are raised by social. They are raised by hey, what up, Patty? What's happening? What's popping? Hey, Erica, what's going on? Erica's on IG. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, so it's just a sad reality. Go ahead, Hakeem.
No, you're right. You did say some good points that I think that might go over a lot of people's head. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot we have to go through, and there's a lot of men are not being men. You feel me? And you know what I mean? The lack of other men being able to hold men accountable, being able to raise men, is going to put us in a position where we don't have a lot of masculine men to help solve issues. And this is why women have a lack of respect for black men right now. You know what I mean? Who one of us is doing what we got to do? Where's the conversation of accountability? But I also want women to understand the reality of what we're facing when you have men like us who has to deal with other men who are not men. You know what I mean? Our combatants. You know what I'm saying? Our Double D Johns, Pookie, Ray Ray, Twan, Della Reese. You know?
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I realize now that the age we living in today, everything is based on entertainment. It's not really solution based. So even right now, we're having a strong conversation about the sad reality being a man. Nobody at the end of the day, nobody's really gonna care. Right now, everybody focus on relationship, what can, who hates the black women, who like the white women, what type of girls coming over tonight. That's what the agenda is, and that's what the focus is.
No, you definitely hit it on point. A lot of us don't even. Jabari said. He said this is why black men needs to implement dominance in the household to prepare to step outside to face prejudice, discrimination, cowardness. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. But to be honest with you, Jabari, how can we hold dominance if our women won't let us be dominant in the house? Tell me that. How can we be dominant or the leaders of our house when our own women don't respect us enough to allow us to be leaders? You know what I'm saying? Enjoy. And that's the reality of it. Mm-hmm. He hit a very good point about being dominant and being a leader. Most women that men are getting with is, if not as dominant or masculine than us. He said, hey, hold on. That beard look clean, my nigga.
Thank you. I got a fresh cut. I'm sorry. I got a haircut yesterday.
This nigga look like a record producer. He got a clean well, I understand. Damn,
it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I overheard you guys talking about, make y'all, y'all good points and everything. Personally for me, growing to a single mother household, it's just sometimes you wish you have for me, I just wish I had you guys came from a 2-parent household, even though, we was both raised, differently, you know, from 2-parent, 1-parent and everything. You know, there's sometimes I feel like, what if I had a, 2-parent household, would it be a little bit better? Would I, it just always bothered my mind in that. But the thing is, it's like, me, I grew out of it, just really wanted, find out as a man is, since, I was very sick for the household, it's like, you know what, let me, explore the world and see what the world's got for me. And the thing is, it's like you see some good, but definitely seeing a man is you see a lot of things that you got to. For me, I had to like really grow up and to really do what I need to do. So it's just really, really tough. It's really, really tough out there for a man because it's like, especially around this time, it's like, it's more of, if you're not on, if you're not on the women's team, you ain't no team at all. And nobody's really worried about the man, their issues.
No.
Nobody's really talk about men issues, YouTube, or just anywhere in general. And sometimes it really, really, really sucks. It really, 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 really sucks. We not, especially some, man, we not growing up is, not to have, mentors, just to really push out to men and say, this is what you do in your 20s, this is what you do in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. There's really no blueprint for men, how to, have a successful career or a good life or, getting married or, just, basic things you need for a man, skills and what you need for life. And you see why, and you can see why it's because like it's hurting us so much that, it's like we're going out in younger ages, we're supposed to live in our 70s, 80s, and 90s, but, we living towards we're in our 50s and then someone passes, barely we could hopefully we're to our 60s before we go away.
Basically.
So we, like I said, I think for men, we definitely need some tools and really pass on to us and pass on to our generation. So we can live a good life on this earth. So
yeah, but that's the truth. Like Jabari said, it was funny that Jordan looked like a grown ass man now. Facts. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my beard done too. I think my beard is wolfing too. So coming in clean, maybe like, wow, I'm slipping.
That nigga shit.
Jabari made a good point. He was saying, find another woman who respects you. That's the answer. That's absolutely true. But remember, women are really infiltrated and they're really influenced by the media and by what they read and also by what they hear. If they see, like, for example, they're especially right now, the famous quote people always say, there's no such thing as no good black man. So if a woman dates you, she already have in her mind there is no such thing as no good black man. This is why a lot of guys right now are in this space in a quote-unquote manosphere. That's what they are fighting about, is the aspect of getting respect from the women they have lost respect with. But my thing is, women would never gain that respect towards a man because the media doesn't show that. The media, like I told Hakeem earlier, the media only showed the man looking like a boy than actual man.
No facts. You know the thing is where living in America and just trying to understand just life in general is so difficult. I don't think our neighborhoods prepared us. Our parents tried, but schools and society also have to come into place to help us as well for us to understand it. And there was not a point of that. You know what I mean? Hold on. What is this? It says, hey, I want to offer promotion. I don't know if y'all see that.
yeah, I see it from Twitch. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? We got those kind of points where we're trying to understand life in general, and society's supposed to do that. And society doesn't do that. They only show us nothing but negativity. And we have negative examples of how to conduct ourselves as men. Yeah, we can do our own thing, but we're being overpowered by negative, toxic men on how they go about their business. And sometimes we'll question ourselves like, the Pookies and Ray Rays are smashing. Double D John Johns, they're smashing. They get the prettiest chicks. They're getting the prettiest chick pregnant. They're effing down lawyers, effing down they're effing down other niggas' wives. So it makes us think like, damn, am I doing something wrong? Me being a good person, I barely can beat something in a week. The Double D John Johns are smashing on the regular, smashing and grabbing and smashing.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong because you're doing everything right. That's the problem with society today. When you do everything right, you're doing something wrong. But when you do everything wrong, you're doing everything right. So that would say this world we live in today pretty much reverse everything is backwards. You can take nothing for face value, and I think that's why we have an issue today. Like prime example, a black woman always complain about a black man that go out there and works, but yet the same guy that's home sleeping on the couch, she will give praise to that man. 100%. That's backwards.
No, facts.
Yeah, and with social media, it keep making it's going to the worst and worst possible way. It's like you can't speak truth no more in this, especially in here. You can't speak truth no more. You speak truth, they look at you weird.
Tell me about it.
Like, what are you talking about? It's like they don't want to live in reality anymore. They want to live in a fantasy world. It's like we here to live in a fantasy world, but reality is knocking you on the door. And people don't care. They just want to live in a fantasy world. And the thing is, I know one thing's gonna make it worse. Wait till Metaverse come out. That's gonna change the whole game.
Shout out to Mimi on IG. But no, prime example. Let's say, for example, like this platform here. You see how we interview great people. We interview business people, entrepreneurs, up and coming artists. You notice our subscribership is low. But then go to a guy that's talking about chick ain't shit. She ain't worth nothing. She ain't gonna be nothing. They already got 1 million subscribers. That don't make any sense. I will keep telling you. We like perverse. We like toxicity. We don't want growth. We don't want to grow. We want to stay where we at. We want to stay in the middle. And that's the side reality of being a man. Men don't even support men like they used to. Kevin Samuel, even with God rest his soul, even when he was alive, he had a hard issue with men to tell men even to put on the right cologne in the morning.
Yeah. It just tells you like how our culture is just so messed up. It's just so dysfunctional.
Tell me about it.
Very dysfunctional.
I can't look at you about to release the beast. I can't release the beast. Let the man know, and especially you know you older than us. You already know. I look at you as one of my mentors and my OG. So let the people know, like, show them the reality of the side reality of being a man. Because you've been here longer than us on this earth, so you can relate to a lot of things that was going on right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Credibility. That's one key thing, and I'm trying to think of this word besides credibility. One thing I noticed growing up from the 80s and the 90s is when you are honest and humble, and you're just not in a mix of things, and you can be able to be transparent. Those are the ones who get respected the most. Staying out the way, doing what you think is right, doing shit that people might consider sucker shit, taking care of your kids, not beating on women, not putting your business out there. When people look at you and they don't know a lot of your business, they was like, he's kind of elusive. You end up getting a lot of respect like that. You know what I mean? So that's a key component. A big key component to being a man is to be respectful. You know, a lot of your information got to be by yourself. Getting up and go to work every day. Clocking in, clocking out. I'm not seeing you at the club, or I'm not seeing you at the strip club night after night after night after night after night. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no wrong with you going there, but if you in there 5 days a week, I got a question. This is why the pastor has to get questioned. You know what I mean? The deacon and all them, because you know they really don't care too tough.
And the thing is, five times a week, Ronnie. I mean, Hakeem. It's like, yo, you know how much money you can invest in? Money you can be saving on, yo.
You see, that's another thing.
You just putting in on tricks, and tricks are for kids. I just want to put a joke out there.
Yeah, most black men are leaving assets. Most black men are working hard to clean up their community, clean up their credit. There's so many multi-layered things I can just go into, and then we're trying to say, like, who do we feel sorry for? You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's what people got to understand, you know.
You know what? I have a good idea about. You know, I think black women need to talk about men's issues. That's the number one thing. If women could, if women, especially black women, could talk about men's issues, I think that would skyrocket. That would change the game right there.
Good point. But I think there's some women on this space that do talk about that. In Christian, what is it? Crimson Cure. She talks about black man issues. Yep. I was gonna say Cynthia G, but Cynthia G is pretty much against the black man. A lot of people don't like her because they feel like she's like a stemmer of what black man hates because she goes in on black man. You know, so a lot of people is not a really good fan of her. And I think Danica Marie is another one I talk about black man issue. There is some woman that's black that talks about man issue in this space because I think a lot of women understand the aspect of how hard it is to being a man, how to wake up every day of being a man. And remember, they have husbands. So they see their husband getting up every day. It's like, damn, I got to make the money. I got to make this bag. But then I have the whole world on my shoulder and the whole world's on my back. And another thing I think what makes what's so sad about being a reality of the man, I think we live in the society today that say man can't really express himself. A man got to hold his emotion in 100 times a day, 7 days a week, 36 days out of the year. So all those things, a man got to hold himself. So when you find out a man deleting himself or he do harm to his family, people are shocked by it because like, wait a minute, ain't he a man? Ain't he supposed to be strong? But men have emotion too. And I think that's one thing that's not being promoted in these spaces at all. So it's very hard for men to wake up every day to express himself the way he should.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%, Ronnie. We definitely need more men to just man to really express their emotions. So it's just like because it's like I said, you go to work, man. Some men has 1, 2 to 3 jobs a day. You know, going around in the world, really, the world really don't care about you. And then you know, you go home. If you sing, you go home. You like I said, you have really nobody to talk to. You know, you gotta anything that you gotta hold it in. And the thing is, and they don't have the necessary tools to go places or find a mentor or something and really talk about issues like that. Really talk to issues like that. And I think that's definitely needed. And my thing is like we're in 2023 and we have all these tools, but it's not being pushed. I mean, it's not being pushed out enough. And I think for us, we really need to put stuff out there, the tools that necessarily needs to help out the man, especially a younger generation of men. Because I was looking right now, shit is not looking good.
It's not when you got the suicide rate, especially for black men, has gone up. Women, y'all can do research on that. The suicide rate for men has gone up. I think it went up by like 2 to 3% because men today are taught not to express himself the way he should. Now, some women get upset at the aspect like, why he won't tell me his emotion? Why he won't? Because you're gonna ridicule that man. So the man feel like the only person that he can relate to is to go to his brother, go to the brotherhood. Because if he comes to you, you won't see him as less than, you're not gonna see him as valuable, and you won't see him as weak. Not only that, but what he's telling you, you might you might use that against them later.
Yeah. And I also want to add this too, Ronnie. It's so bad. It's like here in California and in LA, it's a lot of men. It's really no help out here that is so messed up. A lot of men end up homeless. I see a lot of black men in general, but more black men being homeless. I'm talking about the ages from my age all the way to 24 to 25. And it'd be sad to see sometimes they get on trains or subways and you can just see them. They sleeping in the train to just keep warm because it's cold.
Wow.
Like I said, they'll have their tents. It's sad, yo. It's very sad to see.
That it's crazy, but you know what I mean? Nobody talks about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. You know, nobody wants to. They care to show. Nobody cares to see what happens to that. But you know what I mean? But they say you just got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Isn't that what they usually tell us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I always talk about these things, and one thing to actually, you know what I mean, actually had a perspective to go on, and we can sit here and have a decent discourse about it. You know, it is what it is. I wonder if anybody got any questions for us. Let us know what's good.
And I was asked, what made you come up with today's topic? Is it because of the Black Lives Matter situation?
Yeah. That was mainly what that was. As something as simple as a car crash can end up in somebody's life being deterred. We everybody acts erratic. You feel me? And the thing about it, that he was an English teacher, so he had to been functioning mentally to be an English teacher, and there was no comments and complaints about him. But him, as I read the police report, they said he was acting unruly, he was acting strange. But he was an English teacher around kids every day. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this is like we go through these things, but it's not even a conversation they had, because they say, hey man, like, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Best of luck to him, but it is best of luck until it happens to one of us. You feel me? Until people can understand, like, yo, you want to know something? You want to know something? Something's not going on. People are not understanding men, and we got to rally together, and we have to have these conversations about what we're going through. We have to be our own support system. Ain't nobody else going to come to support us. Imagine that. Who's going to come support us? Who's going to come rally against us to make us feel like, yo, you want to know something, bro? You good? When the last time somebody asked you, hey, you good?
Well, I'm good. You know, we take on each other all the time. So
we
have that among ourselves. But other people don't have that. No.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's another thing. You know what I say? You know what I mean? I'm saying we're blessed to have the community that we have. A lot of people don't have a community. It's some dudes right now can't even pick up and call nobody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? To say that, hey, my girl going here. You know what I'm saying? If there was people to talk to, a lot of relationships could be saved. A lot of mental health could be saved. Did y'all forget about the man in North Carolina? We just did that piece. He deleted himself, his kids, and his wife. My question would be what that man was going through. Did nobody went and checked on him?
No. That's a problem. That's the thing. I don't think men get checked on the way they should. And not only that, but your wife is supposed to be your support system or your girlfriend. supposed to be the support system that she's supposed to check on you as well. But a lot of women today are more focused on themselves. That was called is this selfishness. They're more focused on themselves and worrying about their own special needs.
It's Go ahead, Jordan. I don't know if you was gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's very, very true. Women today, modern women today, they just really they feel like, it's more about the wedding than it is being the wife, because they, you got these shows and social media showing, how, top notch and weddings are and everything. And then once they get, after the wedding, just like, they don't kind of transition of being the wife in the thing, or have the mindset of being a wife. It's because they just like be a little selfish and think about themselves in a way. And that's why I see high rates of divorce. Well, one of the reasons you see high rises in divorce is because of that. And after the divorce, that, and then if then y'all had kids, that really breaks a man down, because the man going to court and he ain't gonna win. With child support, alimony, so much stuff you got to pay. Probably take the probably own. If you have a job that's a pension, you probably owe half the pensions might be hers. Your IRA. It's just a lot, yo. It's just a lot, and it's it's like a we in the era of the era of, I would say, like the downfall of man.
No, it's only a small group of men that's a downfall. Like certain said the men will highly be praised. Prime example, white men are highly praised, Asian men are highly praised, Spanish are highly praised. It's just the black man is the one that's not praised within our own community, because they say we don't build nothing, we ain't trying to do nothing. But they don't understand that, for God's sake, it's harder for a black man to get a job than a Hispanic. Most businesses today are run by Hispanics. It's hard for a black man to get a job in a white corporation. It's hard for a black man to climb up in the ladder. It's certain things. Even when a black man tries hard, he could cut his hair. If he got dreads, he could cut his hair completely off, and he still won't get the job. And he's qualified for the job. It's just that everything is always against the black man on certain aspect. Some black women understand that. That's why they can't sympathize with the black man, but other black women cannot. They saying we're whining, we're complaining, we don't want to do anything. So especially in these spaces, when I say in these spaces, I'm talking about in social media. Social media is the worst. It's the worst image of a black man, and I think it's getting worse.
Yeah, Ronnie, you had a great point about, it's hard for a black man to get a job. Cause I remember a guy, I forgot his name, but he used to work at Whole Foods when I was down in Miami. And, he had like a high top, fade and everything. And he was telling me hey man, I forgot we had a degree. He had a bachelor's degree. And he was telling me how, it was hard for me to get a job. I applied to like 5 or 6 jobs, did 4 interviews. I think he did well with the interview. And then, they don't call him back. He was like, I think I got to cut my hair, get a low cut. And, after that, finally somebody looked at, he didn't interview, got his position and everything, but he was just telling me, I think he was like 23 or 24. He was saying, yo, it's, I really got to cut my hair off just to, please a corporation or something like that. And it kind of hurt him in a way. And it's to me to hear him like that. So, but yeah, right. You made a good point on that about, a lot of these white corporations not really getting black people jobs. And then if they get the jobs, they kind of lowball them. And then not just maybe just lowball them, kind of keep them at that level and not trying to help them reach to, move them up into the company.
Facts.
Out here working. Go ahead, Hakeem.
No, I was just agreeing. I said y'all hit some wonderful points. As far as with that.
No, but I would like you to play that clip of the guy getting tased from the Black Lives Matter. I didn't really see it. I heard about it. I think Jordan talked about it on his YouTube Shorts, but I didn't really like pay attention to it because I think that had been done so many times, and it seemed like nothing has been done about it. It's becoming like a numb thing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'll definitely play that. Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that's tuning in on the Instagram, IG. Shout out to y'all, but you know it's Friday. You got guys club, strip club, whatever. You know we were talking about the strip club, but yeah, coming in, joining up with us. You know we greatly appreciate it. I can't beat us to the punch, Jordan. He was here early, and he started early. He said, "Forget
Mm-hmm.
I know. I seen that.
I was playing some music.
Yeah, he was prepping.
I ain't gonna lie, King. That music played like the last show. I literally went back on the show to listen to it again. The music you had at the beginning, the music you had at the end. I swear to you, I went back and played it again.
No, definitely. Hold on, where could I find that link at with the guys? I just had it.
Probably check WarStar. WarStar probably has it. I know that for a fact. Right now, now we gotta come over to YouTube. We're about to get ready.
Over on your stomach! Get over on your stomach! Hold on. Okay, please, sir, please don't do this. Please don't do this, sir. Please! Help me, please! You know what? Help me, please! No, please help me! Help me, please! Please! Keenan, relax! Keenan, relax! Watch out! Help! They're trying to kill me! Hey, stop! I'm gonna tase you! Stop! I'm gonna tase you! Relo's trying to kill me! I have stuff on YouTube! Stop it or I'm gonna tase you! Yes, sir! Stop it or I'm gonna tase you! Hey, please help me! Help! Stop it or I'm gonna tase you! Stop it or I'm gonna tase you! I'm gonna tase you! Stop it right now! Turn over! I'm gonna tase you! Turn over or I'm gonna tase you! Yes! Watch your elbow. Pardon?
You can.
You're trying to join for me. Stop it. Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it or I'm gonna tase you. Stop resisting. Please. Stop resisting. Please. I'm gonna tase him. They're trying to kill me. Reload. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Stop it. Yes, sir. Don't resist. No. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Okay. Stop it. Help. Stop it. Help, please. Help. Do not move. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. Do not move. Okay. If not, I'm going to tase you again. Okay. Okay, I got one. Okay. Help me. Okay. Here, hold on. Stop it. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
And that's the sad reality. John Smith said, "Hey, John Smith, where you been at, man? You been hiding. John Smith, you been hiding." But he said he was having a mental crisis. Yes, that's what Hakeem was saying. A lot of black men are dealing with mental crisis. It's hard. It's hard for us as black men to even, like me and Jordan saying earlier, it's hard for black men to express themselves. Like he was just having a bad day. A black man can't have a bad day without being tased. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, man. That's what. That's why. That's why I think these police stations they need a mental health crisis unit. And the thing is, I feel to get the mental health to see signs like that, because like I said, right, people go through bad days, and police officers should have like a human, instinct of knowing if somebody's having a bad day, and not using excessive force, because it's like you're treating them like an animal using excessive force. This is mind-boggling to me, yo. It's it's like we see this, from decades and decades and decades and decades before we had cameras. Now we seem to, going back to the not 2000s to 90s to 80s and 70s, 60s, yo. It's always like a rerun, not rerun of the head, just it cause trauma in our black community, yo. We always got to relive through it, and we always got to see something like this, every year. It's always something.
Think about it. Right now, look what's going on, guys. Look, right now we're talking about a serious topic. It's barely nobody in the chat, but let's talk about something that's going on. Let's say like Carly B twerking somewhere on South Beach. We will have the chat swarming with people. We only care about issues when we only care about issues when it's really, really major. But when it's something like this, like a black man in a crisis state, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And this is the reality.
That shit was crazy, man. That man was begging for his life.
Yeah.
That shit hard to watch, boy.
Yeah.
That shit was hard to watch. Damn.
It's sad. It's sad, and this is the reality. This is literally a black man reality. Black man with the stuff we did. When we walk outside, I remember. I don't know. I think I was talking to someone when she was saying when she would date a guy, she would make sure she would pray for the guy every time he walks outside the door, walk outside the house, because she understood the stuff he has to face, and she will pray for him. Hopefully, he'll get back home again. Because most black men don't make it back home. Most of them.
That right there is our picture right there.
How 3 men can gain control of one.
That shit's sad, boy.
Yeah. Oh, we got somebody from Twitch. 444 at Wendy's. Thank you for coming to the chat on Twitch. Thank you.
Thank you
You
for
say
444
at Wendy's.
Yeah,
Yep. 444 at Wendy's.
I'm gonna go Uber real quick. Damn, 444 at Wendy's. Damn.
Yeah,
Thanks
Wendy's
a
must be
lot,
your
man.
spot.
Yeah, man. Well, that shit was tough, boy. I had to pray just now, man. That shit was tough, man.
Yeah, you read about it, John Smith.
Go ahead. You was reading the joint. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said John Smith said it doesn't matter because a majority of people think mental breakdown can't happen to them. Yeah, that's very true.
You're right.
Now Jabari said I'm eating 444 at Wendy's right now.
Hey, Jabari, don't get me started. I'll get on the Uber right now. As a matter of fact, let me get on DoorDash. I know dudes are working DoorDash right now. I get the 444 Wendy's. Believe that. No, 444 Wendy's say, oh, yo, you read that, Jordan. Oh, what's your take on it when he say, there's 3 men side for being a man? What 3 men side for being a man for? I don't know, Jordan, did you answer him?
No, I didn't answer. No, he was just reading that. What's the title? That's the title, or what's the title of the show? That's all.
Okay.
No, it's 444 Wendy. We just talk about how it's not easy to be a man in the world. That's all. That's what the title kind of means. It's not easy for us and men easy in this world. That's all.
Man, he said it doesn't matter because the majority of people think a mental breakdown can't happen to them. That is so true, John Smith. That is so true. I have a family member right now that's dealing with mental illness. So mental illness could come in different forms and different ways. Black men experience mental illness the worst is because we're taught to be successful and that we cannot fail. Most black men that end up in prison, they have a high mental breakdown than the average man that's going to work every day. Because they are taught one way, but then when reality finally hit, when they're in that prison cell doing 20 to 30 years to life, and finally realize, y'all go watch videos on YouTube, literally when in prison, black men in prison, they tell you, when they finally realize that everything they was taught about the world was wrong, their mind they completely lose it.
Yeah, you're right about it, Ronnie, because being go to jail is there to it's to break the mind, not to help, but to break the mind mentally.
I mean, one time Hakeem literally told his story on the podcast one time. When he had his friends going to jail, he said literally you would see grown men that's in their 50s crying in the jail cell.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. Crying ain't the word. Begging.
444 say, do you think that there was thing to how the child is raised? Yeah, more likely, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of that too. But in the case of this guy here, he was an English teacher. He was in an accident. I would assume that he was raised right. He was an English teacher. But for most of the part, a lot of these guys, when they get in these situations, is due to the fact that they don't have masculine around them. There's rules of engagement that you have to know when dealing with other men or when dealing with police officers. We now know this now. You have to be subservient. If not, you're going to die. You have to be as weak as a puppy, as tame as a dog when you're dealing with these type of folks. Or just in general.
Yeah, isn't his auntie is the co-founder of Black Matter, right? That's his auntie or cousin?
Yeah, I think his cousin.
His cousin, and she's under fire for mismanaging funds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Now, if you look at the comments under the video, there was like at least BLM crooks can afford his funeral. Like they're not even caring. You know what I mean? This is why sometimes we do this to our own selves. You expect for people, you know what I mean? Hold on. He says, in our most vulnerable state, black men are facing death. That is a fact. That is a fact. But it just
that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So we look at this situation and tell ourselves what are we doing with. So that's why we have to stick together and know how to handle these situations, because it's a scary situation when you see like that. That's why I say it's a sad reality for us as men to deal with these things. You know.
Yep, but that's what I realized with these spaces, it's just entertainment. It's just entertainment, bro. They don't want no solution, and it's crazy because black men are being attacked. Black men don't want no solution. They rather sit home, complain, go to YouTube and talk about women all day. And then when they realize the woman they talking about all day is the woman that's sitting right next to the house, they'll go back on YouTube and complain some more about women all day.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's true. And
So,
and just be complaining, and it just be complaining. You sound like a woman right now in general. Just be complaining.
Tell me about it. Sometimes I don't even want to be listening to half of that stuff. If it's not nothing productive, they can't really, like, you know what I mean? Like, to try to help us get in a better relationship with our women, getting them to protect ourselves. Half that shit I don't even want to be listening to. Half that shit I don't even want to be listening to.
Yeah, because it's really no solution based. It's more complaint, but no solution based.
Basically. Like it's just sad to watch that and hear somebody begging, please. They're trying to George Floyd, man. Then he ended up dying of cardiac arrest. They tased him literally 4 times. One of the guy had his elbow on the guy's neck, didn't even know. I could see the man foaming out the mouth.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're trying to turn around, but how you gonna turn around? Y'all own them.
Oh man!
You tell them that don't resist. It's crazy now. I don't. Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
How the police gonna explain it? But nobody. You want to know something? It's just business as usual. Everybody went home. They went to go eat a burger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but to be honest, that's one of the supposedly because the situation with George Floyd, they say that's actually when I watch some of the case with George Floyd situation, they say the cops are trained by law to do that. To anybody that's been resisting, they have the right to put that. It's not supposed to put the elbow on your neck. They're supposed to be on your shoulder blade. Because the guy's moving, sometimes it ends up on the guy's neck because he's constantly moving. But supposedly it's supposed to be your shoulder blade, so they can apply pressure and put the handcuffs on you. But it seems like, and that's another issue too. It seems like that's another one that's killing black men too. Nobody talks about too. Cardiac arrest, the heart issue, that's killing black men on a higher rate. Our health is the number one killer. I think Kevin Samuel died from a heart attack as well. I think a recent football player just died from a heart attack as well. So that's killing the heart. But the thing is, people don't understand. we could be eating good and we can still die from a heart attack because of the stress level we're facing in this world.
Yeah, that's the number one. That's the number one thing. It's the stress. Put stress in your body.
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing. Heart. It's because we black men are on a higher level of stress. We're stressing because we're taught we got to get the bag. We got to be right. We got to do what is right. We don't want to end up in prison. We got to be there for the kid. Black men are one of the highest on child support. So it's like, man, I think it was a guy. He was on DJ Black. He was a former NBA player. Mind you, Hakeem and Jordan. Mind you, he used to pay his child support on time. His girl ended up going to the court and say he never paid child support for 18 years. So he had to pay back double. And he was on DJ Black.
Yeah, that's crazy. 444 said, "What state?"
Go ahead.
He said, "What state y'all live in?" Well, I'm in Cali, and then these two they're in Florida.
The great state of Florida.
Great state of Florida.
Great state of Florida.
444. You've been about 444. I said zip code now. Believe that. Yeah, so Hakeem, what is your thought? Oh, he in Tampa.
He in Tampa. He's like 4 hours away from y'all.
Okay. In the house. Oh, but now he's in New York.
Oh, God.
Oh, so you with my man Jabari. Oh, we got 2 New Yorks in the house. Jabari and 444. Look, Jabari, you got a new friend. 444. He's in your city. Yeah, Hakeem, so what are your thoughts, man? What are you thinking? Because I know when you see shit like that, your mind starts buzzing.
My nigga, I could only do but cry, man. You know what I mean? I can only do but cry, man. I just wish we could all go to like Mars or something to get away from this shit. That's the shit that hurts me, man. Like, no matter what we got to go through, there's always going to be some type of pain and infliction involved. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's always going to be some type of stuff. Like when are we going to be like when we can at least go and be like, oh man, life is good today. You know what I mean?
Nope. Not if you're a black man. Nope. Life is always going to be challenges for you, so you walk out that door. Always. And it's okay because that's reality. Sure, you walk out that door, it's always going to be hard for the black man. Because remember, you got to face the black woman, you got to face your job, you probably might have to face your children, you got to face the cops, you got to face the world. And that's just reality.
Tell me about it.
And you hit the key. The first thing you say, Ronnie, was to face a black woman. I don't know why we got to face somebody in the same race. I really don't get that. We should be working together instead of we be talking trash on one another.
Tell me about it.
That's what I'm saying. We should.
Hey, 444. Jabari said, where you at in New York City? Oh, he said he's uptown. Harlem. Let's get it.
Before say he's uptown. John Smith say women should have been in the streets protesting when she about child support. Yep. But the thing is, women have a stronger support system than the men actually do. Like for example, John Smith, A woman, let's say a woman come out with a clothing line, her line will be packed. Let's say a man come out with a shoe line, no one's there. Women support each other heavily, and that's one thing I do love about, especially black women. That's what I do love about black women. If you have something, they will support you 110%.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Jabron, you're right. It should be women protesting, but the thing is, it's like you're not gonna see women do that because the court is they gonna grant them child support. Yes, crazy society that we live in, yo.
Yeah, this live stream right here is pretty much a reality of what really black men face on a day-to-day basis. Listen, guys, you have to find a good woman for. I'm gonna be honest with you. You won't allow with it. You probably might not even like this 444. I don't think there's no such thing as a good woman. I think every woman is valuable to you the way you make her valuable to you. Because you still deal with a human being. Human beings still deal with good and evil. That's for me. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's no such thing as a good woman. Because a good woman, let's say for example, you find a good woman. If she find out you are knowing her too much, she would cheat on you. Does that still make her a good woman? So, to me, as a man, I think you just mold the woman into the way you want her to be. I don't know. You guys got to take on
it. Yeah, well, 444 could say find a good woman. You might think she's a good woman, but the thing is, you gotta see how her actions are. Good woman. If like I said, a woman will lead you by the action of how good she is. If she's like agreeable, submissive, and do kind of follow what your protocol and everything, then yeah. But like I said, a good woman. You talk too much, you don't know she's a good woman. Yeah, you gotta see how her action flows first. That's just me.
I can't use on the phone. I think he answer when you get off. John Smith make a good thing. He said, "Police need to socialize with the community. They're policing." That's true too. To be honest with you, John Smith, they do that, but not in the black community though. If you go to the suburbs or even the Spanish community, they have great relationship with the officers. Great relationship. Even the apartment I'm staying in right now, like it's a semi suburbs mixed with Spanish community, and you can see the level of respect they have between one another. You don't see that in the black community. You don't.
Hispanics culturally, they're going to deal with each other.
Say, well, you have to find women that has core values. Does she respect? Does she communicates nice with you? Facts. Does she respect your boundaries? Facts. That's why Jordan said it's good to vet the woman.
Yeah. 444. You brought in the money. I could tell you this. I'm a married man, been married for 2 years, but generally being my wife for 13 years altogether. What you're saying is pretty much facts. The communication might be small to some people, but that's a really, really big thing. Every single day. So sometimes you might skip a day, which it could affect that. Also you said find a woman that respects you. Yeah, and also respect boundaries. And that respect boundary, that's a major key too. I definitely agree with that 100%.
Like, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd rather get the woman respect than her love. Because her respect won't go longer than her love. Because love fluctuates. It's an emotion. It fluctuates up and down. But if she respects you, that means she's gonna honor you in a higher regards of anything that's going on within the situation. So that's why I say I would love a woman respect than an actual love. To be honest.
You right about it, Ronnie. That's true. You want a woman to get you respect you first before she gets you love. That's I agree with you 1,000% on that.
My laptop is always tripping. Yeah. Go ahead, Jordan. Continue. If he's commenting, just continue.
He said, "Okay, but but that's where then I love her, and if she does miss that one day, it's okay. No, it happens. It happens, but you got to make sure if she communicates, if you miss a day, that's fine, but make sure you communicate back on the day, because if y'all don't communicate, last for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, that will definitely hit an effect on the relationship." Just gotta keep keep building and building and building. That's all. John Smith said the standard of women has shifted towards me first and then us. Yeah.
That is a fact.
Yep. That's intention. And John Smith, that's kind of selfish, selfish way with a woman to think like that. That just make you women just be selfish. It's like it's me and then it's everybody else, but it's not supposed to be like that. If you're selfless, if you being selfless in a relationship, for a woman, it's the number one thing a woman should do in order to have a long-term relationship.
It should always be. It should never be you against yourself. It's supposed to be me. It's supposed to be you and your girl against the world. Y'all supposed to be. It's supposed to be literally a partnership when you walk outside those doors.
Yep. And the thing is, it's like a woman would rely on their best friend, their sisterhood, than a man.
You can say that again.
Women will go by their sisterhood, but not with their man.
Don't care how.
Exactly. I don't know where that came from. I really don't know.
And if you need time, that's where communication comes. Facts. Communication is always the cure for anything. If you can communicate with your girl 100%, you should be fine. Even with men need to have a stronger communication. The problem with men today, we don't communicate with one another, and we don't communicate with our brotherhood either. We never tell our brother what's going on, what is wrong, because it makes us look weak.
Facts.
Well, guys, we got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left before we end the live stream. Make sure you got any more questions or comment before we.
I have many brothers in Hawaii, poly guys. We all love each other. Nice. When you 444, when you mean like poly guys,
word. He said that's our culture.
Yeah.
Remember you always talk about that culture. That's their culture.
That's their culture, yeah. Or you mean when they say poly, they're like polygamy?
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Island guys, yeah.
Okay, got it.
We have 1 minute left, guys.
1 minute left.
Man, this was topic.
Now we did. We're gonna I want to end it off with that song.
But before you end it off with the song, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit all notification bell on the right. Hit all notification when we drop our shorts, when we drop off live streams, anything that's going on within the page. Make sure you hit the notification. Make sure you click all. And also, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you go ahead and do so at the KR Culture Radio page. The reason why I'm saying that, because there's people listening on Instagram, people also listening on Facebook. So go over to the KR Culture Radio page. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, KR Culture. Thank you for tuning in to KR Culture Radio. Remember, we go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time with my good man, Prince Hakeem, my good man, New Jordan Era, and also myself. So, thank you for tuning in to KR Culture Radio. Man, it's hip-hop. It's playoff season starting tomorrow. You know how we get down. Hakeem, play that song. We over and out. Peace.
We over and out. We out. That's that. Hey, Jabari, that's Bushy B. That's my guy. Bushy B. Planet Blue. Go stream. We holler.